Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith with the In the Black Quant Edge VTF here, T3 Live, and with this week's market wrap up and beauty of new highs. We had the SpyGoveX dividend. I'm showing the U Pro. So what we have here is called a simultaneous break, and so people are like, I'm going to fade it. Wrong answer. So what you have, we talked about last Friday, inside weak equilibrium. That's got to break one way or the other. It did. It goes to the upside. QQQ. The same, albeit slightly. Dow Jones Diamonds, boom, inside weak to the upside. So this is something you want to pay attention to. And then what we do is we can take it down to the internals and say, all right, we've got the broader averages all breaking these equilibriums to the upside. Do we have confirmation in the internals? And by that what I mean is here, if you can pull up a scan like here, and look at all the inside weeks that broke to the upside. NVIDIA, Microsoft, Cisco, General Motors, AMAT, CY, VRX, Nike, Tesla. You can see this list over here. It just goes on. And so one of the reasons we call it a simultaneous break is because they're all going. If you go here, this would be my inside down list to see who is countering this market. Look at this. It's a who's who of nobodies. SFM, Q, Yum Brands, VRTX, WDay. It's a who's who of nobodies compared to the plethora of the inside weeks and up. So that's what's going on here. However, that's going to exhaust going into new highs. And so we will be looking for anything that's left over, and I'll get to that in a second. Another thing I talked about last week was OIH, oil services. And that was something we wanted to focus on because if we get anything out of the oil, 11 months without closing higher than it opened, and now it opens, it starts shooting up. That was a good indication we wanted to get in on that stuff, and so you got your usual suspects, your Halliburtons and your slabs. And we were going after some natural oil. Well, Varka, you can see this nice moves here. NOV, Helmerich Payne, and so some nice stuff there. So we can see if there's any follow through the oil come through next week. So with the Qs, it wasn't the Fanger stocks. So you got Facebook doing almost nothing. You had Amazon go up a tad and then drop in Goog. Still suffering succotash going down. So is it back to the semiconductors, SMH. SMH, did we know we want to be a part of that? We did. Why? Inside weak to the upside. And so a bunch of the usual suspects over there, NVIDIA. So one of the good things we can do, we want to go forward is now that this has occurred, is that an exhaustion? Have they broken all the equilibriums and now they're on the highs and now they got to reform some things? So what we want to do is we want to look for anything left over that's still inside weeks, because these are the things that can reconfirm what we happened this week, because the monthlies are all now to the upside as well, or are they going to counter it? And so we can look, if we just go to the semis, you'll see AMD, and I can shrink this, blow this up for you so you can see it better. AMD, inside week, barely moving, inside week. It's got to give, right? AVGOS, still inside week there in the semis. Analog Devices, getting close, might take it here late. Nope, not quite. It's still right there with inside week. And even maybe a little Yelpster here. Inside week, it's been doing the creeper for a while, and inside week here. We can also look for the Dow Jones. We can get a Walmart. Walmart couldn't take out last week's highs or lows, so we can keep an eye on that. And also an indication that we might want to keep an eye on some more of those retailers. Wynn Resorts. Here goes also inside week. You've got, and this week, Tesla. And Tesla has just been the giving tree. And so when you have something like this, it was inside and then gaps up. I mean, in classic technical pattern, it would have to gap above it, but somewhat of a kicking pattern. What that means is it opened close to the highs, close to the lows, and then gaps and takes it all out, which means everybody from last week is scrambling. Equilibrium break to the upside. It's also a combination because it takes the inside month to the upside like it did here, and Tesla's just been the giving tree all year, still is. And then, of course, even though you get the broader averages like the SPY and stuff like that, the problem was, if you're going to trade the SPY, it was right out the chute and then just sit here and do nothing all week, all right? And that's why we want to go down to the stocks and see what's going. So when it does and pins near the highs like this, we know who's in trouble when that happens. Oh, that's right, the VIX. And you get the VIX, VXX, going to new all-time lows. And I I've been talking about that, 4 or 5 years now here, and that's how it goes. And so that's, on a percentage basis, you'd much rather be short this than long the S&P normally. And this week, no different. So that was pretty good. So it was a tight range here for the last few days. I do make a weekend video. It's available at T3Live.com if you want to get that. I'm also on Twitter all day at RobinTheBlack. My YouTube is Smiths in the Black. There's a lot of good stuff there if you want to check that out. I hope everybody's enjoying the new highs. It's going to have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week right here at T3 Live. I'm Rob Smith in the Black Quantedge VTF here at T3 Live with this week's market wrap-up.